I'm totally tired, government I'm tired of the sponsorship because they take advantage of us. That is why some of us run the business. That is why music we respect them because it's our business. That's where our family live. Hare sebetse social development, hare batlo sebetsa art and culture. Ra iketsetsa.
We, the artists of Free State, kapa tsa Bloemfontein, but we are the Free State. Everything exists, but I recognize you. Your typical example, the radio stations, your community radio station. For them to play our music, we have to beg them. You understand? Guys, play our music. You understand? Guys, the DJs are local. Guys, put this certain song. So it's challenging the dollar, and they're frustrated. And then, like at the end of the day, open up another division. Between the artist, the DJ, your whatever, the radio presenters. So, if you're not going to we have to pay for music to be played on our community radio stations. It's not fair.
I've seen other artists in various provinces, but I'm more than convinced that in the Free State we have the untapped talent.
And what I hate like music, like international wise, they don't ask for anyway. These guys, even Navasaya, radio station is straight. Guys, please go back this music. But Runa, we have to pay. We have to pay. We have frustrated too much. We have to pay.
Jaloka, Mutela Katam Bona, Thabanchu Sarna Disability, Kalakata, one will not PACOFS. Muslim sectors like a shape, Sitorias as a Molemo, Jalokadi, Bini Kapagati artistic, Sally High and Guano, Tekaring, Thabanchu Saruna Realacas official, Lazo, Realacas Bono, in Paribona Hali, Garisha Wui, Muslim sectors was a Sinena, Sitorisa, Kaikai, Taberibona, the Rona, Ruhona Huja, Caso receive, Bayanta Fling in Noarona, because there's a Tata. We are the album with the Diazan, but what is here to sing? Libona Barasia Zakatata impaning. Hey, Musawarona got how to shave.
Issue your government, it's very, very, very difficult and critical like I can but government yes, you are support. But if the government is individual. So Linna get the government. But the question is, how do you go somebody? Say for instance, kita go and I think you go to say 1, 2, 3. Australia government. If also we don't choose, then there's nothing that I can do. Especially on a crash to us. So key challenge them like if Mama office needs and then like I'm going to that office, then I told her no get talk like what talks. I'm not going to help you. They are not this to a group about faith.
Yeah, why to it along in this industry? We don't carry out our mandate. Musicians, we are not doing our mandate. Government, like I, is not doing mandate. What they now highlight on that. Radio stations, they are not doing their mandate. As well as the radio stations, everybody, you got to talk about the research.
You know, when you go to countries like America, even before elections, artists are central as elections. Artists are able to pronounce themselves to say, Obama. And until such time that we do that as artists, then it means our position or our role in a creative sector will continue to be questioned.
Like the whole program, but we like whoever or compile whoever decided like I'm going to play this music. Music is not fun. Music is not and then when I like go I mean department in get to dogs. Who's get to dogs? Retain, but you're not being recognized.
That's why this unity thing, it's been a verbal excellent thing. The unity of the artists that I see since woman the Western Fave, MEC Arts and Culture. He was una bua ka taba hore there must be unity around artists tsa kasi, jazz musicians, artists, actors, all of us, the painters, first we really the intellectuals tsa kasi.
If we're gonna more specifically for industry ya music, like khona le re feel go na le division. Go na le division ni so gona go re re tshwana le ya fa ga ke re le go like it's gonna help us go na the artist at this stage. Go like division e feel then maybe together responding go fela o to push it in one because at the end of the day vision ni one, vision ni one. So na mile fela go paneng to push it in one.
This process, it belongs to all the musicians. This process belongs to all of us. Some of us might not be musicians, but we can be friends to musicians. And there's nothing that stops us from supporting anything that is progressive.
Then, this thing you understand? Every time if somebody big, a certain struggle. As some said, big name. I have a big name, struggle. Now, let us talk about this, let us talk about this.
We as the artists are more free state. Problem is not to each other. If I do a gig, a good beat, I think we're not long done. You're going to shine on my shine, yeah. To shine wondering, yeah. I think you're not going to buy out of the scapo.
But while the normal guy on the street, the only musician, how about a whole address the frustration saga? The so-said organizations very reset how do you address the frustrations of that individual? So to say, your organization, I carry out its mandate.
As the Free State People Council, we have interacted, particularly the Secretary, sometime last week, and we came to a conclusion that it is important in gatherings such as this that we do not only appoint a leadership that will lead us, but we must come up with documents that speaks to our sector.
We, the members of the Association of the Musicians in the Free State, commit ourselves to realizing the development of South African music recording sector. We believe that FSMA, which is the Free State Music Association, as a major stakeholder driven by all the musicians, will be the driver to align the music industry to state the visions of the South Africans accruing benefit from the vibrant South African cultural industry.
We must speak to documents that will better the lives of musicians. We must talk about integrated musicians plan.
We're going to have a membership fee payable annually in order for organization to fund in order to sustain it. But a member to become an official member of the organization, and that money to be used to sustain the organization.
The reason why I love the agencies because they always have time frames. Project 2011, Project 2012, Project 2020. And I think this gathering should also be in a position to come up with a plan that says in the next 3 years, this is how far we should go. I think that is very important. And it's not only the challenge to the leadership, it's also a challenge to all of you.
Because even the ANC, when it started in 1912, it was not perfect.
And your role is not just to come here and donate leadership, but you must ensure that from time to time you interact with that leadership. Obviously, the back of your mind, acknowledging the fact that we are human beings and human errors are possible.
It only carries out its mandate. Hamama big name, officially struggles out again a moma kufi or again any sort of event, ailing governmentally or otherwise. You understand, my brother?
The level of education
in the Free State. That's why earlier on I spoke about that pattern of Gauteng or other provinces vis-a-vis this province. When you go to other provinces, they do things on their own.
how to come with strategies to sustain the association. So then, how many years how much people are working? Okay, because the moment they are dependent on it is the more the gardening with the artist. We don't want that. I will never do that. I've got garden behind my backyard. If I have to work, I must create a job for the artistic studio. I'm not a garden boy.
To have what you call a regional executive committee that is going to work in partnership. The tax team exists now because tax team that people came with the concept. Whenever I they stood up and said we lead till the point where I publish a conference. We then decide their fate, or we don't need you anymore, we need this particular person. What if this is an institutional memory? They've already formed some relationship in the Department of Arts and Culture, the PACC, NCC, for the same institution that we are in, which is PACOFS, and other political organizations, specifically the ruling party, which is something that we cannot run away from. Though we made it clear that we are not going to align ourselves with any political party, but because there is a ruling party in this country, other than the police. Like now, we are going to discuss the police, this organization. So we need another no choice.
Is to see all Free State musicians, DJs, being independent, sustainable, and professionally developed, where provincially, nationally, and internationally.
The Free State with the talent that you have, why can't we do it on our own? If you don't have an answer to that, because you see, I might not be a musician, but I'm a good observer. It's because we are unable to put our egos aside and work.
Let's talk about music.
We're gonna be independent.
The top 5 musicians that we have in this province, they are getting their income from the same government which we don't want to partner with.
I mean, we are beggars.
If someone can stand here in front of you and say that you are beggars, and they did hold.
Don't scare and get them in box.
Someone say you are beggars.
Don't scare and get them in box in cities.
The musician is riding a car today is because of the government, and it's because of the state of Manam.
And someone say you ride a car because of government.
If you come with an attitude or a politician, forget it.
It's important. Whether you like it or not, whether as individuals you don't like each other, but if it comes to issues of the center or of the music industry. But let us say people like the music video about Thai. People like the music video about Converged machine. People like the music video about forces. But if we do not see other artists in those music videos, the question will always be asked, is this person an island or
not? It's because of we don't believe in ourselves. The analytics thing, I mean, we can't hold something like a festival. Go what live Solomon or Cesar Ramabodi. Held a festival, no. Ticket to Doxy, Kaya, get not cheesy, Alaye, fail. We have this mentality of like, for the event to be successful, we have to have artists to on them. So, issue of like, who's working, I think that we don't believe in ourselves. That's the thing.
We need to sit down, come up a proper homework, a proper research. We do guys, for the radio, this is the route to follow. For the events, the government, this is the route to follow. For the private events, this is the route to follow. Everybody asked, like today, Botshabelo people, they should be here. From government, I'm aware some of them, by the PACC, but nothing, you understand? Because so that the way in, you understand? How do we get assistance from the government? How do we get assistance from private? How do we carry out our mandate and impress the masses?
So for us to avoid the ANC or the PAC or the National Party or the social development or anything telling us what to do, so that we can be independent, there must be people. We discuss how can we generate fund for this organization? How can we sustain this organization? Not only sustenance in terms of charity. If read a constitution, committee, how can we sustain that committee?
Otherwise, we're not going to go anywhere and get a good one if we were in the ruling class.
Let me once again thank those who gave me this opportunity, and also pay homage to those who are still alive and they have done a lot for this sector.
Get Orthodox, they released the album last year, the 16th of November. I've been working on something like 2 to 3 months in a day.
And that told me one thing, that when you work hard, ultimately you get there. Russia, where are we going? Now, it tells you one thing. It might not be about material, but it tells you some that came before us took them 10, 15 years before the political alliance. But that's the example that we also give. I always say, when you see only 5 musicians in the province, then you must know there's a problem. When you see 3 musicians, then you must know there's a problem. When your counterpart in Bloemfontein can afford a townhouse, 10,000 per month, and you can't even afford, remember, there are big issues with that. Especially services. So it means you need to put up resources to make sure that I think all of us, it's our responsibility to work very hard. Comrades, I'm not sure whether to say in those few ways, because I suspect those were not few ways. When you leave this theater, you must always remember that you are an embodiment